Nope, I think we're good.
Okay.
And I say that because I just got an ad for September.
Heck yeah. All right.
Well,
Now,
I suppose I might as well go ahead and resub to the channel.
I mean, yeah.
I guess I should. Maybe that's a
if you have some brand loyalty.
Yeah.
Right.
Keep drinking Pepsi over Coke,
Right.
Show a little bit of loyalty to the
I can
old
understand that.
Twitch channel here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on. Wait. Maybe there needs to be a poll of that. Pepsi or Coke?
Coke.
Okay, that's one Coke.
Yeah,
I am.
I would 100% Coke.
I am a man of many tastes. And
nuanced flavor, huh?
I believe that there are versions of each that are better or worse than the other.
Really?
Yes. Coca-Cola from McDonald's. Coca-Cola from McDonald's.
Oh.
Best
okay.
Coke you can get.
Okay. So we're getting into the lore of soda here because you're absolutely right. McDonald's Coke. And I just realized that that's probably a statement that could get me put on an FBI watch list.
Yep.
McDonald's Coca-Cola is fantastic. It is fantastic.
Yeah.
And there is a reason why it's fantastic. Do you know the reason, Dan?
Don't they use more syrup? Like their mix is proprietary to McDonald's?
Yes. Okay, so a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, your boy TBL worked at a McDonald's.
Yeah.
I worked at a McDonald's a long time ago. And yes, they have their own proprietary. I think they might have even tried to trademark the percentages of syrup that they specifically use. They use more syrup per carbonated water for their Coke than other restaurants do or are allowed to, which is why you want the best tasting Coke that you can get here in the States. You go to a McDonald's. It's nice, it's crisp, it's very, very sugary. You want the best Coke ever, you go to Mexico. Real sugar.
Oh yeah. But even that, haven't they changed that out too? Am I right?
Have they?
I think I think we get cornstarch sodas from Mexico now.
No.
Yeah.
That was the one. That was the one reason to buy Mexican Coca-Cola. No.
Yeah. There's also, so I also think that Pepsi is the top tier pairing with New York style pizza.
Oh, okay.
Barbecue of any kind.
Okay, Pepsi plus barbecue is pretty good.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
So I don't know. That's me. I don't know. I'm not enough of my soda shenanigans. Let's get to the show. We don't have all night. We can get to the show, right? Yes.
True, but I
have
a
certain amount of time.
Right, we've got about an hour to get this done, but I am heartbroken. I missed the Mexico patch notes where they nerfed their sugar sodas. Oh,
that's
nerf or nothing.
Sucks, honestly,
it's the worst in the world.
Oh, I can understand that.
Welcome to the Planet Soda podcast. First episode, we're going to be talking about sodas from around the world. Go to Epcot. Epcot used to have this World of Soda thing, like they have World of Beer.
Yes, but they took it down. They took it down.
They took it down.
Yeah.
It's oh my god. That as a kid, that was I know Dan tried to move us on from soda, but I'm not done talking about soda just yet. I love soda, and as a kid, I live in Florida, so Epcot, is an hour away from almost everywhere in Florida.
Well, see, here's the thing: I live 20 minutes from Disney, 5 minutes away.
Oh,
so that's I have
unfair.
Yeah.
OP, please nerf. Please nerf the annual pass that Jets has. Epcot used to have the World of Soda thing, and it was the first. It was going there as a kid was the first time I got to try sodas from other countries, and it's where I got introduced to. I think it's called Sidral. It's like Mexican apple soda. It was the most mind-blowing thing. Most mind-blowing thing I had ever had. It was amazing. I love soda. I'm a big soda guy. If you guys can't tell.
I was at the Louisville sheep auction when I first had Surge, and that was the last time I had Surge. So
Oh my
Were you
God.
awake for 3 days and nights?
My dad was like, "What is wrong with you? You're annoying me."
Really,
Yeah,
right?
Surge, the band soda.
Yeah.
All right, we can move on now. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 253 of the Planet Destiny podcast. We're back once again to talk about the goings on in the world of Destiny 2. Joining us this week, very special guest host, Jess, also known as ActiiveVisiion. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
It's my pleasure. Thank you guys for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure to have you here. Really happy to have you on the show tonight.
Mhm.
Of course, also here we've got the one, the only, the rock of this show, Mr. Danfinity.
Hello, I am the Dwayne the Rock Johnson. That joke's
You
already
are
been
the
done, but I'll reprise
Rock
it.
Johnson of this show.
Yes.
We do callbacks to old episodes. If you want to understand it, you got to listen to every episode of the show. It was like an episode or two ago, so you don't have to go too far.
Definitely.
And of course, I am the Black Link, and we've got a few things to talk about this week. We have the Hunter Revenant was revealed. We get to talk a bit about the curious effects of stasis and how it's going to be mixed in with the overall game environment and a couple of other things. But first things first, for our guest again, Jess, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Of course.
For those out there who are listening or watching right now who may not be acquainted with you, who are you? What is it you do?
So, my name is Jess. I go by ActiiveVisiion on Twitch. I'm actually a Pacific LGBT streamer that supports everybody for who they are. We give love and positivity to everybody because the LGBT community is usually a very stigmatism type community where people like to try to harass and um I try to make it a safe place. I stream on Twitch 5 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and then Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays. So that just gives you an idea of where am. I'm
Mhm.
actually a transgender streamer. I have actually been transitioning for over 3 years. So I have had a lot of experience with just being in the LGBT community. So we just try to give love and where love is due, and just have a positive environment to everybody.
Love and
That's
positivity. I don't know how anybody can make any sort of argument against that.
nope.
Hmm. Right.
Well, right on.
Well,
Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
that's not
Thank you for
all.
having me.
Jess also
Yeah.
spearheaded the Trevor Project
Yes.
stream marathon that happened like
Yeah.
back in August. And
Mhm.
how much did you
Only a
guys end up
month
raising?
ago. We raised $33,105,
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
and Dan was a part of that too.
it was fun.
So, yeah, it was absolutely fun. And this has been going on for 3 years,
Mhm.
actually. This was the third year, and we actually, it was in 2018, right after I started transition. I said um, for my 1 year anniversary, I want to do something special. And the only way that I could think about it was doing a charity marathon, because I see a lot of people in the Destiny community, especially if you look at Gathalion and you look at Broman and a lot of other streamers, they only really concentrate on St. Jude.
Yeah.
So I wanted to create something that was different for something that was towards myself and my community and just everybody around, that's not talked about as much. And it's a very hard thing to come around. And but every year it's been getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's really a interesting type of experience. It's like a GCX marathon,
Mhm.
but it's for the Trevor Project, and it's absolutely fantastic. People have been blowing me away with it. Dan blew me away with his stream. I was there for the whole thing. It just
It's
blew me
crazy.
away. It was
Yeah.
absolutely crazy. But everybody, no matter if they raise $0 or $5 to raising over $1,000 or $2,000, it doesn't matter. We just try to raise awareness for it, and there's usually no set goal for it. We just see how much we can raise together.
That is absolutely incredible. And I'd say $33,000. Y'all
Mhm.
knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
Good
Everybody did.
stuff.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful work. So generally when we have guests here on the show, I like to take a little bit of time to talk about who you are and
Mhm.
your history in gaming. And in particular, one of my favorite questions is first off, introduce the cat, please. Please.
Okay. That's what Mixplosion said. So I have a cat that I show on stream. Her name is Aspen. I adopted her almost a year ago.
Aw.
She was a rescue. Yeah. Uh, she when I adopted her, she literally sat on my lap for
Mhm.
2 hours, and I
Oh
couldn't
man.
say no.
Mm-hmm.
So, uh, you'll see her jumping around, and probably hear her out throughout the podcast, or if you're watching on Twitch, you'll see her jumping around and moving around my desk. But yeah, this is her. She's absolutely adorable. People come just specifically for the stream because of that. So it's funny. It's funny because she literally will sit there. She knows when I stream, so she gets
Mm-hmm.
crazy, and then she sits on our cat tree, and I have a cat cam, and I'm just like, "Here, enjoy her." And I just talk on stream, and people just watch her. It's cute. It's just downtime, you know.
Heck yeah.
But she,
Yeah.
as you can see behind me, she's begging to go out, and I'm like, "Nope." She stays in my room when I'm home,
Yeah.
and she's allowed to leave when I'm not home
Gotcha.
because my roommate.
Right. Beautiful. A cat cam. We've got a bit of experience with that here on PD, of course, with Aura
Yeah.
and his
Mhm.
Layla cam. And
Yep.
the pets are always the star of the
I
show. He'll
actually
never
known
outshine your
for a
pet.
very long time. I was actually
Mhm.
hoping that he was gonna be on tonight, but unfortunately, he had other plans or whatever the case
Yeah.
is.
He had his grandparents were or he had a grandparent's birthday today.
Birthday
Oh,
party.
okay.
We
Yeah.
wish them a
That makes
very
sense.
happy birthday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I love
Very
that.
true.
I love pet cams because I'll go and donate money just to look at a pet. Because pets are they're always the star of the show, no matter who you are. You always get outshined by the pets. It's
Well,
great.
I
I
have
love
a
it.
point incentive in my stream that gives them 10, 15 minutes of playing with Aspen on
Oh,
stream.
it's fantastic.
So they get to see her. They have a treat incentive like Aura does. It's really, really cute, honestly. So people just sit there and lurk, and then they're like, "Oh, give her a treat, playtime." It's the cutest thing because she's addicted to wand toys. So
Okay.
I have one
Hmm.
in my desk right here. So if I pulled out the wand toy and started playing with her, you could see that she's like, give it to me, play with me. And I'm like, no, I'm done. So she is absolutely a doll though. She's a
Hmm.
sweet, sweet cat. She's soft as silk, actually. We think she's a Maine Coon, but we're not too sure.
That's fantastic.
Mhm.
So naturally that leads me to the question of how did you get started in streaming and all of this?
So I really wanted to help people first in Crota with sword
Ooh,
carries, and helping with
yeah.
Crota was the one thing that I started to do. And I was really, really into that as like raid helps. And eventually it just I I stopped doing raids. I felt
Hmm.
like raids and a service stream was not the right thing for me. And I just made it community based. So when I first started out um in 2015, that's when I started streaming. That's what it was, raid helps with Crota and so on and so forth, with King's Fall and going through Wrath of Machine. And
Right.
then going eventually when near the end of that era, when Destiny 2 came out, it was more community based. I actually came out in 2016, um live on stream, which was really, really crazy, and it was super
Wow.
supportive. Yeah.
Mhm.
That was the first thing that I was able to do publicly. And after that, in 2017, I started transitioning. So what my stream is now is, you know, seeing myself progress as a human being, but also having a safe environment where everybody can feel loved and respected. And it feels great, honestly, to
Yeah.
have that community feel, because you're not so tied into raid helps. Because like if I go to another like game to play, like I played Alien Isolation on stream once and
Mhm.
people were still there. Like that's what I love to see instead of being a service streamer where you're stuck on a game and that's where my viewers count. And I'm like, no, I can't do that. So I just enjoy helping people, whether it's being an advocate for the LGBTQIA, community, or it's part of the transgender community specifically, but it's also a lot of people are in there because of being an ally. So it's just a really unique experience to be in there. I can be goofy, I can be funny, I could be serious. And I had actually a viewer that's actually in chat right now, actually had the confidence to tell his story on stream, or their story on stream, excuse me. And the next day they came out to their parents.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's very, very powerful in there. It's very, very supporting. And that's where I pretty much came from. It was doing raid house, but then now it's making it community based and um, supporting all the wonderful people that have come into my life. I think if it wasn't for the people that are there in my chat, it would not have happened the way that it has been happening. And I've been seeing a huge influx in just analytics that I look at and things like that. And it's mind blowing. It's
Yeah.
absolutely mind blowing of who is coming back, who is actually, around. It's just absolutely incredible. Because when I was in 2018, after the marathon, the first year of the marathon, I started to take off on Twitch. And then I had a very, very tough moment where Dan knows specifically, but I attempted suicide. I left a note on Twitter um 2 weeks later in December, and it was a timed tweet. And I had messages from all over the Destiny community asking if I was okay. Um, and a big one that I saw was Aura saying this was a time tweet, this was a time tweet, this was a time tweet. But after luckily one of my mods had my account information, deleted it, and people were just blown away. But I came back after rehab and I've been, growing ever since. I've grown as a person, and that's really the story of how I am, is being real with people, being honest with people, and giving love and respect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've always been somebody that I've seen as a very strong person within the Destiny community, and your story is really inspiring. So thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us today, and
Yeah.
for being a part of the Planet Destiny stream team as well.
Oh, I love it. I was talking to you, Dan, and Blacklink before, and it's this community is one of a kind,
Oh yeah.
honestly. And the people that are in the Planet Destiny, stream team they're all fantastic people. I haven't been able to stop by everybody, but just looking at the Discord and seeing how they interact with everybody,
Yeah.
it's mind blowing, because I have not ever seen a stream team be this like intertwined with each other.
Mm-hmm. Kind of
So
cohesive.
it's right, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful to see. I feel comfortable being a part of Planet Destiny, and it was, a tough decision to join Planet
Mm-hmm.
Destiny, but it was a rewarding choice.
Yeah, and we're certainly, like Dan said, certainly happy to have you aboard. It's great to have you on the stream team and here with us tonight. Good stuff.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you. And so why don't we go ahead and move on into some Destiny stuff, because of course we've got kind of
Yep.
a lot of stuff to cover for this week. Earlier in the week, we
Yes.
had the Hunter Revenant reveal, which is the final issue of the Bungie Stasis Spotlights that they put out. Give us a neat little look into how the Hunter Revenant class is going to play. We learned about how we're going to be earning certain gear in Beyond Light, including seasonal armor, as well as the return of stuff like pinnacle weapons, or, well, I guess they call them ritual weapons now. A greater conversation, we'll say, sparked out of that when it came to the design of those ritual weapons. So there's certainly no lack of news when it comes to Destiny this week. But we'll start with the Hunter Revenant. I'm assuming everybody got a chance to see that here, right?
Oh yeah.
Yep. Dropping
So
links in
Jess,
chat.
what do you think of the Revenant subclass and stasis and all of that?
So stasis is a really interesting topic just in general because it's a different class compared to any of the other ones that we've seen. I mean,
Yeah.
if you look at Destiny 1 and the way that each class was set up, it only had 2 subclasses before having the third subclass.
Yep.
And to bring in something new and fresh, I think it's going to revitalize the Destiny community to be saying, hey, there's more diversity of choosing a class. It's not always going to be shadow key, like I forget what it's called, void for hunters, or solar
Yeah.
for titans, or anything that is what we've been used to. So just looking at the videos and the things that they're posting, hunter is going to be a very, very, very different experience. It's going to feel like, honestly, I feel like it's going to feel like Blade Dancer in D1.
Oh, I hope so.
That's what I'm thinking,
I want that
honestly,
blink
because
back.
you have the 2 pickaxes
Mhm.
that are a part of
Yeah.
it. The crystal axes. So I feel like it's going to be like that, like spectral blades, but I feel like it's going to be different in a way.
It
Where
has like
what?
the feeling of spectral blades, but also of like the solar subclass that we got.
Blade Barrage.
Yeah, Blade Barrage.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly where I was going to go with that.
Mhm.
So it's just every subclass has its unique abilities, as we learned, but I'm just really excited to have this opportunity to play the game, especially when I played since D1 beta.
Yeah.
It kind of gives you another like, it revitalizes some of the Destiny stuff that we've been doing, because a lot of it now is grind, trying to get ready for the next season when this comes out,
Mhm.
when Beyond Light comes out. But at the same time, it's I think a lot more people are going to be using this class than a lot of the other classes.
Oh,
For a
no
while.
doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. I think everybody's going to be jumping on the stasis subclasses as soon as Beyond Light comes out. And you're right.
Yep.
It's very exciting to have this because it's the first time we've gotten not only a new toolkit for our characters, but an entirely new element. This is an entirely new element that we haven't had a chance to play with. It's going to create all kinds of new playgrounds and toys for us to deal with when Beyond Light drops. And the Hunter subclass in particular has some really interesting abilities. One of the things they talked about in the Stasis Spotlight, of course, is the focus on the Revenant's ability to slow enemies, even
Yep.
so much as giving them an ability where performing your dodge will slow nearby enemies, which
Yeah.
certainly had the PvP group
Yep.
sweating a little bit because I
There's
could see some interesting combinations with that.
there's a lot of synergy that could go on.
There's some Gemini gestures, a
Yes.
little bit of that, a little bit of
Yep.
the worm husk.
How funny would
Mhm.
it be to just be able to pair those?
Oh, I 100%. I think it's gonna happen, and
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Same. I'm upset. So I have to be a Titan main for the first 2 seasons
Yeah.
Oof.
of Beyond Light. But as soon as that happens, I'm deleting all my other characters and just jumping in wholeheartedly into the Hunter Revenant.
Yeah.
Because no, this is stupid. Mex Mexplosion in chat was asking what the over under was on the Hunter class getting nerfed in 2 weeks.
100%. I mean, if you think about it, every single time hunters get nerfed,
Yep.
it's annoying, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, it started with Orpheus rigs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh,
And then it
so
started
good.
going with
Preach.
Shards of Galanor.
Shards of
And,
Galanor, yeah.
and then it's like, okay, with this subclass, they're probably gonna come out with an exotic that helps it somehow, some way, and then they're gonna nerf that.
Yeah,
Nope.
I said the over under on that was 2 months. I'm realistic. It'll be about 2 months. Then you'll see the retuning.
I think it's over 2 months.
You will
honestly.
you
Yeah.
will see people complain for a month and a half.
Oh. It's gonna be salty on month number 1.
Yes.
And honestly, I'm so looking forward to it because it's I love that chaos, and I'm glad that Bungie is leaning more towards not just an RPG kind of feel with this, but what's the right way to say this? Almost kind of saying PvP be damned. We're not going to let that shackle the creativity that we can bring to these classes in PvE. And for a
Right.
game like Destiny, I think that's the right way to go. I love PvP. I'm a big PvP guy, but I don't think class builds and variety should be sacrificed for the sake of balance in PvP. I've never thought that should be the case in Destiny. And if that means I can dodge to slow people next to me and freeze them by landing, what is it, 2 of the throwing knives on targets? Whatever.
Have them ricochet off the walls too.
Right. Yeah. Oh my God,
Oh.
you're right. It's like they took the shield from Titans and gave it to
Yes,
the
they did.
melee.
Exactly.
The melee on hunters. Oof.
Nickname idea.
Mm-hmm.
Pinball Wizard.
I love that idea.
Okay.
I dig it.
All right.
I dig it.
That's so great, honestly. That's so great.
It's so I think it's time hunters see their time in the sun. For too long have I had to worry about like a pillar of fire just coming around the corner and eviscerating me, or like a sword coming down out of the sky, or shoulder charging. If I can skip and hit and slow that shoulder charge down,
Oh no.
I want it. I just want it in my life.
Yes. That would
Yeah.
be so great to slow down the shoulder charges because those are freaking annoying.
Oh, so good.
See, it's times like this where I really miss Aura because we all know how he feels about dodge.
Oh yeah.
And dodge is a strong move in PvP. We can be upfront about that. It
Yeah.
breaks aim assist. It completely throws especially if you're using a controller, can completely throw you off. Something that breaks aim assist alone is kind of busted in a game as heavily reliant upon aim assist as Destiny is. Now it's going to get an ability to slow you if you're too close to that hunter. Again, which you can probably mix in with stuff like the Gemini Jester, I think is what it is, where dodging near enemies disorients and removes radar for those enemies.
Yeah.
It's going to be so nutty.
You're gonna have that.
So nutty.
You also have the ones where you skip and it drops a bomb.
Oh my God, I forgot about that
Yeah.
thing.
Mm-hmm. You did. You want to know why?
Oh.
Because it has no real use until now.
Yeah. Yeah. Now you can dodge, drop a bomb, and I won't be fast enough to get away.
And then hike on out of there because you don't need to be a part of that mess after it blows up.
Mm.
That's a
Oh
great.
my
That's a
gosh.
great point. With
Yeah.
Volunteers.
There's a lot of
Slow
synergy.
down, use the bomb, get out of there. You're done.
And oh my, as a warlock main, like everybody's first nature when you get caught in something you don't expect is to jump. That's the worst thing you can do as a warlock because you have the slowest jump. And if you're frozen, oof. It's gonna be a wild time. I can't wait for it, honestly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm honestly ecstatic about the possibility of this breaking PvP. Because like we have a community of sweats, and but like Destiny's premier content seems to be in PvE, and I'm
Absolutely.
I'd like
100%.
seeing them dive into that side of it and just being like, you know what, sure, have fun, go break everything, until we need to reel you back in. But I don't know. This kind of ability mashing has me really excited for the future of the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I said before, I think it gives new light for
Mm-hmm.
the people that haven't been able to come back, like ever since we had that dry content for a while. I just
Yeah.
don't, I think it's just gonna come around better. Honestly, they're gonna come back around and they're gonna say, "Oh, look at this subclass. What's this? Ooh, that's really interesting. Let me get into this."
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. I hope so. They just let it rip for Beyond Light. We can worry about dialing things back that need to be dialed back later.
Yes.
Right.
And with all the new stuff that's coming, we now know, kind of how a lot of these abilities work. That was a part of the Stasis Spotlight, and they talked a little bit about it in the TWAB this week. We know the super for the Hunter Revenant is basically going to be like Blade Barrage, but the first hit, well, with Blade Barrage, you throw your knives, you get the impact damage, and then the explosion damage. With the Hunter Revenant, it's going to be called Silence and Squall. And the first comma ninja dagger that you throw, I think freezes enemies. And then the second one that you throw, like, detonates the entire area around them, which I think is wild. And it's not, that sort of ability isn't just going to be tied to supers. We learned a lot this week about how the freezing and shattering is going to be working across different classes and with grenades as well. Did you guys get to see the grenades that they talked about
Oh, yeah.
in the spotlight? Oh boy.
Yes.
It's going to be the I think the glacier grenade, the cold snap, and the dusk field grenade. With the glacier grenade, I think they say that when you throw it on the ground, like a wall of stasis crystals bursts up from the earth. And I think that's what we got to see in the trailers that formed like the ice walls that are around you. I think it's also the thing that you can use to create platforms to jump on. With the cold snap grenades, we saw those in the trailers too. You throw those on the ground and they do like an AoE that moves forward, almost kind of like the thermite grenades, I think I want to say, is what they are for solar classes right now, where you throw them on the ground, they do like an AoE targeting that forks and goes forward. We're gonna have that with the cold snap grenades. And then Duskfield, I thought sounded really interesting. You throw it on the ground, it vacuums enemies up, and then it creates ice and detonates. How in the world is that going to work in PvP?
Well, it works in Borderlands.
It does work in Borderlands.
Yeah. I don't know how it's gonna work in PvP. It's gonna be crazy.
It's going to be crazy, and I can't wait. I can't wait. This is good. This is creative. This is new. And the fact that we're going to be able to use these grenades to create structures and change kind of the way we play around. Fantastic work, Bungie. I think it's fantastic work. Can't wait.
Yeah.
What else did they talk about in the Stasis Spotlight? I know we got to see the one of the aspects and one of the fragments that you'll be able to go for as the Hunter Revenant. Do you have that up, Dan?
Yeah. So they have the Shatter Dive. That's a fragment that activating while midair to quickly descend and shatter nearby targets on impact. So it binds to your circle long press if you're on the PS4. They also said the Whisper of Hedrons gain a bonus to the weapon damage after freezing a target with stasis, with a penalty to strength by 10.
Yeah, so the Shatter Dive is basically the Warlock's Phoenix Dive. Right now they have an ability where you can hold your ability button in air and you'll descend to the ground and heal. So they're adding that to the Hunter, but basically turning it into an attack so you can shatter frozen enemies that are around you. I think that's pretty cool. I still wonder if they're ever going to give Titans their midair dodge back from the what was the name of that exotic in D1?
Twilight Garrison.
Twilight Garrison. I'd love to see that come back as a class ability with Beyond Light, but also with Whisper of Hedrons. That's pretty cool because it's almost kind of like a charged with light buff that you set up yourself by freezing a target with stasis. That's the way it reads out is you freeze a target with stasis. When you shatter that target, you give yourself a damage buff. All about that. All about it. I think it's a it kind of lends credence to the idea that we talked about last week, in that these stasis fragments and aspects are going to kind of function almost similar to the way the armor mods do this season, the seasonal mods do, where you've got stuff like Charge with Light, or any of the other seasonal mods that we've got right now. You're just using them to customize your subclass rather than, customize your armor, which 100% okay with. I
Mhm.
dig it. I definitely dig it. So what is you guys' favorite thing about the Hunter Revenant?
That is for
Just
Hunter and no
having,
one else.
yeah, I was like, what?
Fair.
Um, there's so much, honestly, that the hunter, I feel like, will be able to do, but just
Hmm.
being able um to use those pickaxes in the way that they're going to be used, like,
Yeah.
so with Withering Blade and Deadly Edge, it'll be super 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 cool just to see those abilities come out, I
Hmm.
think. So that's what I'm excited for, honestly.
Yeah, man, I love that these things reflect off of walls now
Mhm.
Yeah.
and hit twice for the freeze and the shatter. That's such a creative way to sort of mix the sentinel shield throw from the super there into a melee ability for a class. I can't wait to see how exactly that's going to play out, which is really honestly how I feel about a lot of the stasis subclass abilities that we've seen thus far. All three classes seem to play into their roles pretty well. I dig it.
Mhm.
I really do.
Yeah,
Well, all right.
they made it unique. That's for sure.
Yeah,
I did.
that's in a word. Yeah, they definitely made these very unique. And I can't wait to learn more about what other types of stasis aspects and fragments we're going to be getting as we get closer to Beyond Light, and how exactly we're going to be able to further customize these classes when Beyond Light drops on November 10th. Really, really makes me sad when I sit back and think about it. This was supposed to drop next week.
Mhm.
Now we have to
I
wait.
know.
Ugh.
And
I want
we're
to play it.
definitely feeling like I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling the urge to get out there and try some other stuff.
Yeah.
I've been playing like Borderlands and Tony Hawk lately, and just like on my off stream. But like when I'm in Destiny, I do have things to go after. It's just they're not as
Yeah.
pressing, and feeling a little not burnt out. Just like, all right, I'll get to that. This stuff's new.
Yeah.
See,
Right,
with
because it.
me,
Go ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, all you.
Okay, so what I was gonna say was I still feel like it's fresh enough for
Mm-hmm.
me, because I was gone for 3 months when a season of arrivals before that,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
and I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. The grime was too much. I felt like,
Hmm.
with all the stuff for the war mind and before, I just felt it was too much and I just couldn't do it. Especially for
Mm-hmm.
me being a casual player, like a super casual player, where I can only really jump on when I can stream and not just grind, grind, grind. So I only grind for 3, 4, 5 hours a day.
Yeah.
Where when I was full time streaming on Twitch in 2018, um it was 10 hours, 11 hours that I couldn't play. So and sometimes I don't even have time to play. Like the last 3 days I barely had any time because I was training for a new position at work. So it's I feel like it's still fresh because I can at least say next week with the double rewards for the Nightfall for Lake of Shadows,
Mm-hmm.
Oh
like
yeah.
I'm gonna be totally grinding that at Master and just literally just keep going, 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 going.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna be doing next week is grinding that, because that's gonna be a great opportunity to get those things that you need, the Ascendant shards and the prisms and just everything.
Absolutely. And by the way, Bungie, give us back the ability to swap between multiple Grandmaster Nightfalls, please.
Please.
I heard by Obi Katie Cat that they're gonna send it back 2 weeks before the drop.
Yes. Dylan came out on Twitter and spoke on that, saying that, you know, this was supposed to happen because initially the season was supposed to be ending next week, and they'll be bringing it back again 2 weeks before the end of the season. I think after they've had their rotation of Grandmaster Nightfalls, maybe for the first month and a half or 2 months of a season, just do this. Open it up so you can choose whatever Grandmaster Nightfall you want, because that was fantastic last week. And yes, by fantastic, I mean everybody could just run Lake of Shadows.
Yeah. Well,
I think that's fine. I think that's a good way to handle it.
and so that also raises a question. Are you guys going to be preparing? Are you guys storing XP for next season? Are you guys already jumping on that train?
Too early. I think it's still too early. I mean,
Yeah.
you have I would start grinding that October 1st.
Mhm.
I feel like I still even haven't even hit base level 1060 yet.
Okay.
Same.
So it's kind of like I'm kind of taking my time with it for XP, but at the same time, I don't really care about it until about October. Because if the new
Yeah.
content is there, I don't want to grind XP and just hold the bounties because they're going to sit there.
Yep.
They're going to sit there. And I'd rather try to get the rewards that I need rather than just like saving the XP right now.
Yeah. See, I'm doing
Yes.
it early.
Like for me, that process doesn't start until the last Iron Banner of the season. That's my sign for, okay, now it's time to start grabbing bounties so I can hold on to my Iron Banner bounties. I can hold on to whatever other bounties I'm picking up. And then if I want to really grind it out and hold on to a bunch of bounties for the start of next season to get that initial boost, because we are expecting the EXP level to increase. I think one of the trailers showed like a character at level 31. So it's
Right.
probably going to be bumping up from whatever we're at right now, 30 to 40 or 50 or something like that.
Mhm. And
Honestly, that's a lot of work.
yeah.
And I
There's
think I'd
also
rather just play.
they've also talked about like changing the way that bounties give experience as well in the future. I don't know
Yeah.
if they said that it was coming with the next season or not, but it seemed like it was more like imminent
Right.
than not.
I guess they mentioned that a while back, but they haven't said anything, uh, at least in the last month or so. I wonder if that's going to be one of the things they talk about in the TWAB as we get closer to November,
Right.
and then maybe they pull the rug beneath everybody's feet like they did last time and say, "Oh, by the way, all weekly bounties are going to be automatically turned in before reset."
I'm kind of fine with that. I'm just doing
Yeah.
it to do it, and
Yeah.
we'll see. But I found there's this excellent site, DestinyRecipes.com. If you go /checklist, it creates a
Ooh.
kind of a rundown of what you should be looking to do, or if you're grabbing bounties. Just it shows you the experiences that you have stored. It's highly interactive and very nice to look at. Also, kind of points you in a direction if you don't really know what to do right now.
I dig that. I actually had not been using that, so I'm gonna jump on that right now. Get an idea of what exactly I need to think about doing before the end of the season goes rolling around. But yeah, I figure we've still got, a month and a half or so.
Right.
I can take it easy.
That's why I'm saying, like, just you have 2 months.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Why start grinding it now? That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was to grind it now, I would get bored and then I wouldn't be able to grind. It would give me something to do for the last couple of months to grind out the stuff that I need for that last month
Right.
and a half, rather than just blowing through content and just doing raids or whatever the case is. Like, it will allow me to be able to do something else besides that, or play PvP, or do comp, or whatever you
Yeah.
decide to do. I feel like it's going to be a better thing for me just to wait
Mm-hmm.
until it gets closer.
Yeah, I'm 100%, 100% on board with that. I'm not going to be pulling out my hair trying to figure out exactly what to grind quite yet. I think we've got enough time to sit and wait on that. Well, all
Right.
right. Moving on from there, we got some pretty big news in the TWAB this week. In particular, we got some clarifications of some things that Luke Smith was talking about a month or two ago. When it comes to rewarding players throughout the season. In particular, they talked about some of the armor that you're going to be able to earn when I think this is what season 12 when
Yeah.
Beyond Light in season 12 goes live. And I think I've got the quote pulled up over here. They say they're adding a new set of armor for the core playlist that includes Strikes, Gambit, and the Crucible, and that this armor is going to share a set of new geometry with decals and shaders specific to the activity. So basically, that means Strikes are going to have a new armor set, Gambit's going to have its own new armor set, Crucible's going to have its own new armor set, and there's going to be shaders that are going to be specific to those game modes as well. Basically, it's just stuff for you to grind for in those modes. Fantastic news. They also say that they are going to be creating new sets like this each year. So for year 4, year 5, and year 6, they're going to continue creating new armor, which is great news for people like Nim Plays who've been complaining that we've had the same general armor set for a lot of these game modes
Mm-hmm.
for a long time. Like
Yep.
in particular, vendors haven't been reset ever. Like a
Yeah.
lot of the planetary vendors. And even when it comes to stuff like Gambit and the Crucible, last time we got fresh new armor for Crucible was what? Forsaken? I don't know if we
Yep.
did in Shadow
Yeah,
Keep.
because you had if you think about it, you had the Revenant gear.
Yeah.
That was new. And then they came out, I believe they came out with some type of new Iron Banner stuff.
Yes.
So I believe that they came out. That's the last time they came out. Shadowkeep, they really didn't come out with new Pacific armors.
There really wasn't a lot.
No. I mean, you get the stuff from the raids and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like
that and the
you have that
seasonal armor.
opportunity, but
Yeah.
like Iron Banner has been the same since Forsaken. Like
Mm-hmm.
the activities that we play in Gambit or Crucible, they're the same. Or even Vanguard strikes.
Yeah.
So they need to change it up. I agree with that 100%. They need to do it now before they're able to lose some of the community, because I feel like if they're not having those armor sets or those new guns or um you know just something to go for, they lose interest, and we don't want
Right.
it to lose interest. We want to
Right.
keep playing the game because the game is amazing to us.
Yeah.
It's like it's like a home for us, honestly.
Yeah, it's that carrot on the stick. You got to have new
Mhm.
things for people to go after, and it's
Right.
definitely something that a lot of these modes have missed for a long time. And again, to be fair to Bungie, like Jess said, we have gotten the new seasonal armor. You know, every season we'll get a new armor set or two that's tied to like the season pass or whatever activity they put in, like the Seraph Tower bunkers, or when it was I think was it Season of Dawn or whatever with Osiris and the sundial activity. You know, we had the armor set and stuff tied to that. But when it comes to these core vendors with what Bungie calls their core playlist, Strikes, Gambit, Crucible, that's stuff that is meant to keep you playing after you finish the story. There hasn't been a lot of new stuff to chase in those playlists for a long, long
Mhm.
time. So I'm really happy to see that they're focusing on at least creating new things, not just reprised old armor, new stuff for you to go after based on the core playlist that you like to play. If you like to play Strikes, there's going to be new stuff for you to get in Strikes. If you like to play Gambit, there's going to be new stuff for you to chase in Gambit. You got to have that chase there to keep people playing the game. Like Mexplosion says in the chat, milk that content, and there is no better way to milk than by giving me something to chase. Very happy to see that Bungie's at least moving forward in that direction, starting with Beyond Light and Season 12. But it wasn't the only thing that they announced, because they also talked about bringing back ritual weapons. And in particular, we got to see a look at what the ritual weapon for Beyond Light is going to be. Now, this was certainly a topic of conversation in the community this week, with some good and I guess some bad, some would say. I like part of this. What they say about this is that there is going to be the return of ritual weapons, which is going to be a statically rolled weapon, but the way that you're going to be getting it this time around is going to be different than the way that you've gotten ritual weapons before. There will be one ritual weapon per season from now on, and I think the TWAB goes on to state that it's going to be a quest that you'll pick up from like Commanders of Allah, and then
Mhm.
you'll have the choice to pick what content you want to play to get this ritual weapon. If you're somebody who likes to play strikes, you don't have to play Crucible. You can go and play strikes. If you're somebody who likes to play Gambit, you can go play Gambit. If you're somebody who likes to play Crucible and nothing else, you can go play the Crucible. You pick your path. Once you pick that path, you're locked into it. So like if you pick the strike path and then feel like playing some Crucible later on, you're out of luck. You got to run through whatever the strike-based quest is going to be to get it completed. But that I love. Super happy with the return of ritual weapons. Really happy that rather than forcing players to play in activities they may not like we got to see a lot of with the Solstice of Heroes, Bungie is giving people the option to pick between their core playlists. Whatever playlist activity you like the most, you can pick that path, go and get it done, and get your ritual weapon. What do you all have to say about that?
Jess, you want to go ahead?
I'll let you go ahead first on this one.
Okay. I think it's cool that they're bringing back ritual weapons. I think it's odd that it is beloved with a scarf this early on, especially when
It's
Beloved's-
fabulous, beloved. Get it right.
Man, okay,
It is
fabulous.
fabulous.
The most frabjous beloved. I think. I mean, I could have waited like a couple seasons, right? Like, give us like something.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I like reading through it is so Banshee's going to give you the mission, and you're going to be
Yes.
locked into how you play. I'm into that. Like, I'll probably do
I
this
dig
in
that.
strikes. Personally, because I'm more of a PvE guy. Rarely do I snipe in Crucible to the point where I think I'd get it in a short amount of time. And Gambit, I mean, if you're not using Xenophage, what are you doing in there?
What are you doing?
So, I don't. Overall, I like the idea of the quest step. I'm not a huge fan of what they first decided to put out, but I'll wait to see like what the stats are and what the
Yeah.
what perks we're gonna have on it. Hopefully it's not like. Hopefully it's just not a god roll beloved, right? Hopefully.
Yeah.
So, Jess,
What do you think, Jess?
Actually, I'm kind of mixed on this feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So when we had pinnacle weapons, they were quests for us to chase.
Yeah.
And they were special. They had a different perk. You were able to, they were all the same role. They were all this different stuff. First of all, the cosmetics are like great and everything. But why would you have a specific one for Crucible or a specific one for Gambit or a specific one for Vanguard? I don't know why they need to do that. They could just keep it the same gun and then grind it like a pinnacle,
Yeah.
and be able to tailor it, customize it. I feel like that would be able to do it where you had not pinnacle weapons, but you can only get them through the quest. You have one role, a different and it has three different perks for whatever it is. So
per activity.
like Crucible, Vanguard, and Gambit.
That'd be
And
cool.
whatever one you choose, you get that role specifically, and you cannot get a different one.
Okay.
That'd
Or
be
you have to
interesting.
do it on another character and do
Yeah.
do a different one. So I think that's what they should have done, maybe something like that. But at the same time, I think they're on the right track of where they're trying to get to.
Right.
In a way, it's gonna take some time. I've always felt that the pinnacles were a thing to chase. I mean, I took hours to grind for Not Forgotten.
Oh yeah.
Luckily I had errors grind for my mountaintop, and I had another one grind for no, I'm serious, because I had no time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had no time. So they offered to help me and they did it. And I'm blessed for that. But at the same time, with everything that's going on, it's mixed feelings. Like, it could be good or it could be terrible. I don't know for a fact until we get there. I
Yeah.
mean, what if we get another mountaintop where everybody is using it constantly?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
And-
what I say. Like, that would be terribly bad. If there was like a mountaintop. I know they showed a sniper.
So here's the thing. Is it terribly bad though? Because we have, throughout the history of Destiny, reskins, rerolls of the same thing. Like, I think without any tuning and knowing how obnoxious these things have gotten, in specifically how much I see them complained about on Twitter, which maybe is not a great place to, like.
That's a great barometer. It's fantastic.
Right.
But like seeing how often I see them complained about, I don't, unless they pull them back a little bit, but then they wouldn't be Pinnacle. I don't know what you do. I think if you're a dev and you're pressed for time, I like, especially with COVID going on right now, I think if you're a dev and you're pressed for time, having specific perks for different things would be a nice RPG move, that as Mex says in chat. But
yeah,
I don't know if it's awful. I think, like, we'll just have to see how it plays in the sandbox, and with them changing supers or using stasis to kind of change the meta overall in PvP and allow it to kind of be a little broken. I don't know if that's going to be the issue, or if we're just going to hear a lot about supers the first month and a half, right?
Yeah. I think it's going to be both. Honestly.
Yeah.
Because if you think about like Mountaintop, and when that started to become popular, people complained.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then with just in PvP, PvE, you didn't have people complaining about it as much, because you had all this you had the damage buffs and you had the things that went with Mountaintop. I feel like it could be totally different, but at the same time, it could be really great or really terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some Pinnacle weapons that people don't even use.
Yeah.
There's a lot of garbage ones, like Oxygen. I won't say garbage. Guns that never saw their time in the sun.
I want Scouts to be good.
I know, and I was saying this. I was like, because I was playing D1 for a little bit. I was like, I miss my freaking hung jury.
Oh my gosh.
Like I wish that the Oxygen had a different characteristic to it, where it wasn't like all the other scout rifles, because it was a Pinnacle. It should be something that is out there. Yes, it's the meta. We're in auto rifle meta and the grenade launcher meta, or whatever you want to call it. The meta now is terrible, but at the same time, I miss the scouts. I miss everything with being scouts. And I agree with you, Dan. We need to have another scout meta. I agree.
I just want them to be good. I don't necessarily need them to be like top of the top.
No.
Anything.
But it's better than what they are. Yes. That's what I'm going to say.
Bows are better than scouts.
Yep.
How?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I say this though too. I say this though too with everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Follow me. Call of Duty as a shooter has things that you can unlock, and they have their own characteristics about how you can customize it. I feel and they're all balanced. Why can't we just do that? Honestly, like if it was balanced, I would feel it's so much better because then you can use what you want
Yeah.
and people wouldn't complain as much. I feel like.
Um,
Yes, they will. Yes, they will complain, but I don't feel like they would complain that much.
Yeah.
That's
And
just that's my 2 cents on that.
yeah.
yeah. I mean, honestly, scouts do need so much love right now. It's a class that's been suffering for a long
Yeah.
time with the meta, and when you can challenge and outduel scouts with auto rifles, we just got an exotic sidearm this week
Oh
that
boy.
darn near destroys
Everything.
in close to mid range. It's scouts. There needs to be something done, and I honestly don't know what exactly that it is that they do to fix scout rifles. Do you bump up their damage per shot? Do you just make them the only thing that's effective past 30 meters? I have no idea how they make scouts relevant without destroying pulses, autos, and then hand cannons.
You make them at least as good as bows.
At least as good as bows.
I think that's a good
Imagine.
starting point.
Rapid fire Mida archetype scout rifles dealing the damage of a bow. There we go. That's fair. That'll do.
Okay, maybe not.
Let me get
Never
my black
mind, I take it
scorpion out.
back.
Deal Wishender damage.
Oh, God damn it. Yeah, you're right. Oh, man. Oh, that would be sweet.
It's-
Actually.
It would be, right?
It'd be sweet. And like it makes me I long for the days of the scout rifles in Destiny 1. Hung Jury, Vision of Confluence. Talalak was one of my
Yep.
favorite things. It was a scout rifle with a bit of a skill gap because you had to get your super up. Once you had your super full, that thing became a monster. I miss it. I really do. I miss competitive scout rifles. And I just want them to be as good as everything else. I want to be able to outduel a gnawing hunger at 45 meters with my scout rifle. I think that's
what
probably
should
not too much
happen.
to ask. Yeah,
That's what
like
should
it's the
happen.
range weapon.
Right. I mean, the more range you have, the better it should be. And a
Mhm.
gnawing hunger doesn't have enough drop off, in my honest opinion.
Yeah, I could probably agree with that. Damage drop off for 600. If I'm really happy that Bungie gave a buff to auto rifles. I'm very happy. They
Yeah,
needed it
me
for a
too.
long time. If there is to be a nerf coming specifically to the 600s, I would hope that's the only thing they do. They just cut back on their range a little bit. And make the damage fall off more severe. Because you probably shouldn't be out dueling range weapons like bows and and hand cannons and scout rifles with a gnawing hunger at 55 meters. That probably shouldn't be happening.
Mm-hmm.
So if they do make a change, that's the one change that I hope they do make. Knock off that range a bit.
Yep.
But yeah, either way, I'm happy with the return of ritual weapons. I'm glad they're going to be doing one per season. I think is what they said there. I'm with you, Dan, when I say maybe for your first returned ritual weapon, don't pick a gun we earned a year ago.
A year ago, and has been in the meta and
Yeah,
kind of a bane
actively
in the meta.
Mm-hmm.
To
And then like throw it back up.
Yeah.
If you were gonna do that, what I wish they would have done. Beloved is based off of what is it? The LDR.
Yeah.
The LDR.
That's what I was hoping it
1001?
was. I was hoping
Just
it was
bring
LDR.
the LDR. Yeah, just bring us the old LDR model. It doesn't need to be the reskin Beloved. You want to make it something special? At least just give us the LDR and call it the LDR 1002 or something like that. I think that would probably create some hype within the community. They probably could have picked something like that or a new weapon design rather than taking Beloved, calling it adored, and throwing a scarf on it.
Yeah.
It has created great memes though. The hilltop I saw going around on Twitter, a new ritual mountaintop with a beautiful scarf.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic. I dig that. I definitely dig that.
So,
but overall, I'm happy about it.
If you could put a beautiful scarf on any weapon, which would it be? and what kind of scarf?
Oh no.
Okay,
so just to make this fair, can we limit this to Destiny 2 weapons? Because
Yes.
if we open up Destiny 1, this conversation will never end.
yes, it will. I agree. Yeah.
Let's see. For Destiny 2 weapons, Austringer
Okay.
with an ascot. Like we're going full Fred from Scooby-Doo. Give me Austringer with an ascot. I would love that. Every time you take a shot when the recoil happens, the ascot just goes flowing in the wind. That'd be beautiful.
So good. So
See,
good.
I don't know what I would do. I don't know which weapon I would do, but it would be some type of pink, blue, or white.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm thinking a subtle calamity,
Of course.
but down the arc of the bow, it has like, I don't know how you describe it. It's like the scarves with the fringe all over it that you saw girls in the early 2000s. Like it looked like something out of
Yeah.
out of Mean Girls. Like picture Mean Girls, and then picture a scarf that a mean girl would wear, and then put that on the subtle calamity. Instant hit.
Only if the rename is called Fetch and the subtext for it is it's not going to happen. It's not going to work. Stop trying to make Fetch a thing.
Oh my god, please. Oh.
I would dig that.
So good. So outside of that, we had, so they're cleaning up a lot of the playlists. We've seen that. The big change that they announced was Gambit was getting major renovations.
Right.
So they had, what is it? They're playtesting. What was the overall thing? Say for the boss fight, they started with the Gambit Primeval fight. They removed the Time Slayer buffs.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, increase the primeval health and potency of the Slayer buff given by when killing envoys, and then they respawn the envoys every 40% damage done to the primeval. So if you get invaded, the primeval is healed a lot. You have the opportunity to get more Slayer buffs and catch up, which sounds
I think that's a good idea. It's a good idea. I know they talked about basically wanting to mix some of the features of Gambit and Gambit Prime, so they're going to keep the one round a game mode of Gambit Prime, and they made the changes that you just said in order to have basically make the game go by a little bit faster, so your Gambit Prime match won't last quite as long. Most of that I'm okay with. I think Gambit's needed a refresh for quite a while, and so I'm happy to see a lot of that get factored in.
Absolutely. They removed the Taken Captain from the blocker lineup, replaced him with a Phalanx, who can be tough to kill but not as lethal. They kept invasions during the moat phases at 3, just like Gambit Prime, but pulled back the minimum time between invasions during moat phases from 10 seconds to 20.
So you won't get ganked by invasions anymore, which is right. I think good.
They play tested having the moats phase target at a score of 150. Wow. And or have a heavier moat drain. But this allowed organized teams to steamroll even more effectively. So we pulled back to the current prime moat target and drain. So that seems fair.
I dig that.
Yeah. Overall, I dig the changes for that. Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Heck yeah.
I'm not a fan of Gambit, so I don't have anything to say on that, unfortunately.
Hopefully it'll be better. So maybe you'll become a fan of Gambit, because it's that a lot of people aren't a fan of Gambit because it's not great.
Well, I feel like it is great when you play with friends, but if you're trying to solo that, it's frustrating, super frustrating. And I don't like how it kind of rages me in a little bit. Like I don't rage, but like it does. It does. In a certain
Mhm.
aspect when you're playing by yourself.
Yeah.
And that's not fun.
Well, I'm glad that they're going to be making certain changes. Before we move on from the news here, there were two other really big things that I almost forgot about. Adept weapons are coming back to trials. That is
Oh
going to be a
yeah.
thing this coming season. But
God.
that's not it. They didn't just announce adept weapons for trials.
Yeah.
I know.
They announced adept weapons for strikes.
I am so
What?
happy about that.
Pog. Like, finally, a reason to run strikes or grandmaster strikes.
Yes.
So
Because,
question. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just gonna say, for me, I don't care about grandmasters. That's gonna help me want to do grandmasters.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, would you rather have this or strike specific loot?
Ooh,
Mm.
that's tough.
I mean, if I can't have both, because it'd be great to have both
Mhm.
and have the
Yes.
adept weapons be like the grandmaster reward, like a specific rolled version of a strike specific bit of loot. But
See,
either or,
I-
man, because it's a reason to run strikes.
Right.
right. Here's my 2 cents with this. So the adapt weapons, right,
Mhm.
that we would grind for that are in these strikes, just for example.
Yes.
What if they are strike Pacific weapons? You don't know that.
Yeah.
You don't know that. They could be an adapt weapon specifically for that strike. So the high chance of that getting is very, very slim. And not
Yeah,
a lot
it
of people would
absolutely could.
have that. I feel like that is going to be worth grinding for those Grandmaster Nightfalls. Specifically, if that happens, I feel like if it's a small chance, not a guaranteed chance, a small chance, that will
Mhm.
help people grind the Master Nightfalls. And you'll see people being able to try to get that weapon.
Absolutely, because like the big problem with Grandmaster Nightfalls right now is there's no real worthwhile reward for
Mhm.
getting those done. There's no reason to jump in there. This is perfect for that sort of thing. I'd love it if there were strike specific loot coming and adept versions of this loot as a reward chance from completing grandmasters. And maybe, who knows, maybe completing it at a higher level with a higher score threshold increases your chance of getting a drop. That's
Right.
something worthwhile. That's something worth grinding for. And I'm so happy that it's going to be something that's coming soon. I can't wait to learn more about how exactly adept strike weapons are going to work.
Right.
It only got a very small mention in the TWAB this week. Hopefully, we'll have future updates on how exactly that's going to work before. I think they said this is going to drop in like season 13, so it'll be a couple months into Beyond Light. Really excited about that. Very happy.
Heck yeah.
Oh,
So I know we're pressed for time,
mm-hmm.
and usually our question section is fairly long. So I kind of want to ask I want to ask one question.
Okay.
Since this week we saw the marking of 6 years of the Destiny franchise. It's crazy to think that
Boy.
that it's been that
Yeah.
long. What what is a personal favorite moment of yours from your personal journey with Destiny 2 or with Destiny overall? Or what is your favorite community moment?
Are you serious? You're gonna get me into this?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Let's go.
Oh my god. I'll let you go, Dark Link first. How about that? Or Black Link. I'll let you go first.
Okay. Oh my gosh, because 6 years, 6 years of Destiny has flown by so quickly, and there's been so many different experiences, so many community experiences. I think I'll give an answer for both, Dan, since you said
Okay.
either community experience or personal experience. My favorite community experience, I would probably chalk up to the basketball court of Oryx weekend. That
Mhm.
week in D1 where some people on like raid secrets, some crazy guardians out there figured out this ridiculous sequence that opened up a secret door on the dreadnought that led to a what we now know is basically just like a beta testing area for the Rift Slam. I think that you could use in like Court of Oryx and in the raid and stuff like that. And everyone thought that there was some huge secret behind it. So we spent an entire weekend trying to figure out if there was a sequence to slamming these orbs and like the different basketball hoops that were all around the area. And after a full weekend of people staying up almost 24/7, I remember I was up with Tefty for a while trying to figure out what exactly was going on there. And Saturday and Sunday roll on by. Early Monday morning comes around, and very sheepishly, I think it was Luke Smith had to come out and say, no, that was just a dev testing area. There's no secret there." After almost 72 hours of people banging their head against a wall on stream, trying to figure out this ridiculous thing, we all just got to learn, oh no, you were never actually ever supposed to see that. We don't even know how you got that door to open, but well done. You wasted your time. That is still one of my favorite community moments, because it was just this. We've had a lot of different community puzzles in this game where people have come together. And figured things out. We've certainly seen a lot of those here with D2, but just that one, that was so funny. It was so funny, and the salt was great for all of 5 minutes before everybody just laughed it off, because it was a good time. It was a good feel good time. When it comes to my own personal moments, there's so many. I used to do a lot of raid sherping back in Destiny 1. So I have a lot of great memories of taking people through their first Vault of Glass, their first King's Fall, their first Wrath of the Machine. There was so much fun and so many experiences to be had in that. And I've made so many friends through playing Destiny here. But when I sit back and I think of my time spent, my mind always goes to one particular incident where I used to live stream Nightfall runs and record those and the rewards that I would get alongside some of my clan members and my buddies, and make little videos out of it. And there was one week in, I think, December. It was the last week of December of 2014, going into 2015. The Nightfall was the Devil's Lair, Sepix Prime.
Mm-hmm.
I ran that Nightfall with a buddy of mine. He's usually here in the audience for the show, and if he ever hears this, he's probably going to die laughing because he remembers this like as clear as day. Every run of that Nightfall, something ridiculous happened. We died, got sent to orbit because a random dreg popped up behind us or something crazy. But my first Nightfall completion on my Warlock, I got The Devil You Don't, which was a hand cannon that dropped with Crota's in. It was a worse version of The Devil You Know. It was there was one roll on that gun that made it good, and you never got that roll. So first run, I get Devil You Don't with an awful roll. Okay, whatever. I run on my Hunter. The Devil You Don't. The exact same roll. Okay, well that sucks. I run on my Titan, and like 3 wipes later, we get to Sebix, beat him. I get The Devil You Don't, the exact same roll. All 3 of my runs, same gun, same garbage roll. I think the only difference on them was like the sight tree, but the main perks were all the same. I couldn't even express the salt that I felt. I just had to sit back and laugh. It was probably one of the funniest bits of time that I've ever had playing Destiny 2, and I even to this day I still remember it. What a stupidly great day.
That's awesome. Jess, what about you?
All right. So okay, I'm gonna do what Blacklink did and say personal and community. So my community-based one would be, besides like the suicide attempts and all that stuff, like just all the stuff that's behind me.
Right.
Because I'm trying to lead that out. I'm trying to take that out because those are really important to me as personal growth and community based. So I'm trying to do something different. So the one thing that I know from Destiny that has led me to success and happiness community base as being on the front page 3 times of Twitch.
Yeah.
I remember the 3rd time in November of last year, in 2019, I was #1 in the directory.
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
So it was fascinating to see what was it like to be there, in my honest opinion. And it wouldn't have been possible without the community coming around. So I was also featured the first year of Pride Month for Twitch, which was in 2018. I was kind of sponsored by Twitch. They reached out to me. They asked me if I wanted to be in their Pride celebration, and I said yes. I had an NDA. I couldn't say anything until June 1st when they posted their blog on their site. And I was like, I can't see anything. And then I was able to say something, and it was blown away. So that was a very special moment for me, because it was not just being on the front page, but it was also being in the blog. It was also being in a video that we all recorded about our life's journey. So it's really, really cool to have that as a community based.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My personal things from Destiny is just being able to look at and see where I started and where I am now. From all the different growth of just overcoming every obstacle that I've had just as a streamer, because we always talk about mental health. We always talk there's plenty of people that are talking about mental health. Like She Snaps, she's a phenomenal person to talk to
Yeah.
about mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And I was lucky during the charity marathon that I was able to sit down with her during her block and talk to her about myself and my mental health and her mental health and what we went through. So just having the experience of where I started when I started Destiny, and I came out and finally started being myself in 2017, because when I came out in 2016, I kind of gave it some time, and then I was like, when I'm ready, we're gonna transition. So when January 1st came around in 2017, I'm like, this is Jessica now. Like, she and her, like, this is here where we're going now. And it was really a beautiful time to see who comes and who goes and who stays. My best friend, her name is Ashley. She helped me discover who I was, and if it wasn't for Destiny, I wouldn't have met her. None of this would have happened.
Yeah.
And it's scary
Yeah.
to say, because my Ashley knew a roommate of mine in college that I stayed with. And he invited me to a raid with Ashley. And then it was like this ever since.
That's awesome.
So
That's awesome.
without personal growth that I've had from everything that I've ever encountered and encountered, I can see that I've grown as a person, and I feel better about myself. I feel happier about myself. I feel like I can take care of myself now, and I'm able to be happy and healthy, and just be able to have a smile on my face when I'm on streaming. And that was a very hard thing for me to do for a while. And now it's like I want to stream. There was times that, like last year, after the charity marathon, I'm like, I was going through so much hardship, especially being like back since January, actually March of that year, and being able to stream constantly
Yeah.
and going through the mental health issues that I had. And then after the charity marathon, I'm like, I'm done with streaming. I can't take this. My roommate situation was terrible. I just didn't have the time and the energy to do it. And ever since I moved to this condo with the roommate that I have, it's literally been taking off, and I've been happy. And that's what matters to me, is being happy and healthy and taking care of myself. And if it wasn't for
Yeah.
any of this stuff, I wouldn't be here today.
Yeah. Yeah.
I dig that.
Heck yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a little bit different, but
Yeah.
you get what I'm saying.
No, that works.
Yeah. That works. couple of my favorite moments. So I know I talk about the Steve moment a lot because that is my number one like favorite moment in all of Destiny, and meeting people. But there was a time where I played on a friend's PS3, and it was right around King's Fall, or not? Yeah. It was right around the Taken King. I'd been playing for about a year, basically by myself. I did a Vault of Glass raid once with a team of complete randos without a microphone. And I think that maybe took like 3-4 hours. And I remember being like, if that's what a raid is, I don't know if I'll ever do another one again. And then cut to Taken King. I'm trying to get Ray's lighter, and I just ping somebody in the tower. I'm like, hey, I'm trying to get Ray's lighter. For whatever reason, my strategies are not working to try to get this knocked out. Would you mind helping me? And it was a DoD member from the clan High Command, and didn't have a microphone. I was literally sending him messages via like PlayStation Network, which some of you know how painful that can be.
Oh, that's so
Oh yeah,
very bad. So, but yeah, I ended up getting Ray's lighter that night. Cut to, I joined that DoD clan for a couple of years and became like an admin there, and then started making content, and on and on and on from that. I don't think that I'd be where I am right now had it not been for that kind of chance encounter in the world of Destiny.
yeah.
Overall favorite like community event would have to be the one where we all got like little hover. Okay, this is going to sound really weird given what we now know, given the world we now live in. But the Owl Sector, where everybody's rolling around.
Oh yeah.
You had these little sprite fizzies going around your head, and like some people were trying to collect all 6. I think there were 6 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that led into Siva, and that led into Rise of Iron. It was a crazy time in the community. I just really enjoyed it.
I have one more thing that I wanted to add to mine.
Sure.
Too, really quickly, was the charity marathon.
Heck yeah.
That's been a huge success, not just for me, but for this whole Destiny community. I just wanted to get that out there. That even though I put it together, there's a lot of broadcasters, admins, leads that I had. There's moderators. It's not just my moderators, but it's every single streamer, broadcasters, moderators. So I feel like that is a huge thing too, just not specifically towards me, but as a Destiny as a whole group.
Yeah, the streaming community, that's been your baby for years, so that's understandable.
Yes. 3 years.
Heck yeah.
And then next year will be 4. So I'm like, but yeah, I feel like just not even the Destiny community, but as a broadcaster moment.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't think it gets much better than that.
No.
Right on.
We also had some folks from chat. Favorite moments of the last 6 years of Destiny have been finding an awesome community and streamers and folks I would call some good friends with drinks, says Gray Fox. Mr. Killa 305, doing my first Last Wish full raid with ActiiVisiion. Mex, the world's first Last Wish raid. So much drama and an entire community on the edge of their seat.
Yeah.
Desmeraldo, the Black Lives Matter campaign that just happened this past summer.
Yeah.
And Wood, I remember one time me and a friend found an out-of-bounds spot that led to an unused area that was named Boss. We got so excited and ended up sending some really crappy iPad images to Goth, who actually ended up checking it out on stream. So that's pretty awesome. Like it's really unique that a piece of art can bring so many people together. And I think, what was the number? I think it was like 137 million or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's whether it be corporate art or whatever, it's a video game, and it ends up being a community, and it's brought us all together to this point. And I'm excited to see where we're going from that.
Me too.
Absolutely. It's been a hell of a 6 years, and I can't wait to see where it's going to be going next. Right on, right
Totally
on.
agree.
Well, all right. I think with that, that brings us to the end of episode 253 of the Planet Destiny podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and a very special thanks to our guest, Jess. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's been great having you here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you, Dan and Black, for having me. I
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
Absolutely.
You too.
Wonderful to have you here. And of course, before we get on out of here, we love to give our guests an opportunity to let everybody know where they can be found across the internet. So if you would please take it away.
So like I said before, my name is Jess. I go by ActiiveVisiion on Twitch. And I'm gonna spell it out so people know. It's ActiiveVisiion. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Not You'll have to come into Twitch for the YouTube link. I'm not partnered with YouTube to have that custom URL yet, unfortunately. But I also have a Tumblr where I'm starting to write posts about my life and give other opportunities so people can feel comfortable with themselves. So I have other platforms that specifically streamers don't have. But those are basically the main platforms that I have. But we just try to support everybody for who they are.
Yeah.
And that's what this Planet Destiny podcast, but that's what this community comes together for.
Absolutely. And thanks again so much for joining us tonight. It was great to have you here.
Same here. Same here. Thank you for having me.
Right on. Anytime. And of course, Dan, you next, buddy.
Oh, hey. My name is Danfinity. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram where under Danfinity, where the eyes are L's. Why did I slip up on that? Jeez Louise. You can find me on Twitch 3 days a week, twitch.tv/Danfinity. I'm making some YouTube stuff in the background. Don't harsh my buzz on that. I'm just trying something. Outside of that, the only other thing that I can think of is we're trying to do the DMG Turduncan challenge, and it would really mean a lot to me if you just looked on Twitter and found the post by Rachel. Love Rachel. I'm just gonna post that in the chat there, and go like that. Get more attention to it, because Dylan asked like a weird specific thing of a challenge, and we tried to do it to the best of our ability. So far, yeah, I don't know.
Really cool.
So outside of that, that's it for me.
Right on. Go get that done. And of course, my name is The Black Link. You can find me pretty much everywhere on the internet, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, all at The Black Link. This week's probably going to be more of the same, the usual news videos and whatnot will be going up on the Planet Destiny YouTube channel at youtube.com/Planet Destiny. Everything else is still, tentative, all up in the air whether or not we get any streams this week. But all right, everybody, that is it for episode 253 of the Planet Destiny podcast, your guide to this week in Destiny. We'll catch you all next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, everybody.